ASTERIOS KOKKINOS, BRANDIE, POSEY. Music by the Funkomatics. And your host tonight, DARREN CAPOZZI. And now, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your host, DARREN CAPOZZI.
Whoa, what's going on, everybody? 2 mics. How we doing, folks? How we doing? Welcome to Hollywood Stands Up. Are we having a good time right now? Sorry about that. I'm your host, DARREN CAPOZZI. Welcome to an evening with Steve Benaquist, everybody. Keep going for the Funkomatics. Keep going for yourselves. Any East Coasters here? East Coasters? I just got back from Jersey. Let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys tired of the people that grew up in California that thinks it gets cold after it gets below 65? Are you kidding me? You guys want to know how cold it gets in New Jersey?
How cold?
Thank you for asking, sir. This isn't a talk back thing, but we can talk after the show if you want. This is how cold it gets, sir. You'll drop your house keys in the snow and be like, fuck it, I'll get a new house. I'll figure it out. I was just back in Jersey. I was hanging out with some of my Italian friends I grew up with. You guys watch the Jersey Shore? One guy said no. Everyone else laughed. You don't look like you watch the Jersey Shore, so you look like you're in the Jersey Shore. Fucking guys like, I don't watch it. I'm fucking down there every week. Here's one thing about Italians from New Jersey. They can't remember any specific important date in their life unless their sports team did something that year. So I'm hanging out with a couple of my buddies back in Jersey, and I was looking at my buddy's wife, and she was gorgeous, and I was like, yo, Vinny, how did you meet Vanessa? And he's like, shit, how did I meet Vanessa? All right, let's see. It was 2001, Game 7, Yankees versus Arizona. Mariano was having the fucking hottest time closing. Next thing I know, it's a bloop single over his head. Bada bing, bada bang. Arizona wins the championship. I'm at a strip club. That's where I met Vanessa. True story. You guys got tattoos? Anyone got tattoos? Does anyone care? All right, here's the deal. A lot of my friends I grew up with also had tattoos. I think tattoos are getting out of hand. I think people are confusing tattoos with journaling. Right? It used to be simple back in the 50s. An anchor and a heart and you're out the fucking door, right? Now it's like Dear Diary. This one guy at Jersey was showing him off. He's like, what's this over here? No, it's not a picture of my family. It's a picture of the Golden Girls, season 1 through 5. This here's the word beach because I go to the shore every weekend. This here's my grandmother. She died in the 80s. That's why it says, I ain't afraid of no ghost. She just goes, nah, that's a good one. I was watching that show back home. You guys watch that show, The Voice? It's a good show, right? I don't understand one thing about the show is like the singers love to show us the notes while they're singing. And this one girl was belting it out. She was like, you're so beautiful in every single way. Words can bring me down. Whoa, 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 yeah, whoa, 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 yeah, whoa, 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 yeah, whoa, 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 yeah, whoa, down. It's like, if you're gonna show us something, honey, pop out those boobs every now and then. That's all I'm saying. Just watching that show. You guys like that show, Hoarders? Yeah! It's a good show, right? For those of you who haven't watched it, the show Hoarders is about people that hoarder a lot of garbage. But I don't understand this. They bring in a therapist to work with them, and they work a 12-step program with the hoarders. Shouldn't it be 2 steps? You pick it up and you fucking throw it out? Right? Yeah. Last time I checked, it's not a disease if a hefty bag can cure it. That's all I'm saying. Take your time with that one. Every time I go home, I love to go right to my Chinese food restaurant. I love Chinese food, but it doesn't matter what state you're in. If you're in Jersey or if you're in California, it's always the same. Just keep playing. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about my set. He's like, what's this beat we're doing here? We next song? Boom, boom. It's cool, dude. This isn't television. This is live. I can hear and see when you're doing shit, bro. I was like, boom, boom, boom. What are you guys, setting up shop over there? What's going on? Are you setting up chairs? You guys ready? So, you cool? You good? We cool? Here's the thing about Chinese food. Thanks. Thank you. Doesn't matter what state you're in, okay? You can be in Jersey, you can be in California. It's always the same. They're so nice to you when they take the order, but so mean to their own. I walked in, I was ordering for my family. I was like, hey man, can I get some chicken and broccoli, some fried rice, and some lo mein, and some wonton soup? It's like, oh yeah, chicken, broccoli, okay, fried rice, that's a good order, okay. So there's some wonton soup. Oh, I like your t-shirt. It says Thug Life, how ironic, okay. Hold on, let me get that for you, hold on. Then you're like, oh my God, I forgot to order Coke. He's gonna kill him. Apparently my jokes works to this side of the stage. So we go over here. I got a gift, everybody. Wanna know what my gift is? It's like a superpower. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Godfather. My gift is I pee next to really famous people. Yeah, all my life. Do you guys wanna? I'm gonna give you a short list of dudes. Okay, ready? Short list of dudes. Al Pacino. Huh? Yeah. George Clooney. Huh? Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell. Huh? Couple dudes. Most recently, I peed next to David Caruso. Does everyone know who David Caruso is? He's the actor / creepy guy. All right, so I'll set the scene. So I'm in there in the bathroom, and all of a sudden, I'm in there. All of a sudden, he walks in. I'm like, oh my God, it's Caruso. My gift is here, amazing. So I look at him and I go, hey man, I love your show. And he goes, thanks, guy. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe how creepy he is. I can't believe his outside voice sounds like my inside voice. As I'm leaving, I'm like, hey man, seriously, kudos to you. At the urinal, he goes, hey guy, come here a second. So I was like, am I about to blow David Caruso? Like in my head, I'm like, well, I jerk him off for a guest spot. I haven't paid my SAG dues in like 2 years. As I'm getting closer to him, he pulls out his wallet. I'm like, all right, if he pulls out a condom, it's go time, right? And inside his wallet, you ready for this? He had about 65 of these. It's a fucking headshot of himself from CSI Miami. He laminates them, and then he doesn't have time to give you the autograph. He pre-signs it. Big D. I was like, fuck you, you dick, you're rich. Give me $100 or something, right? So I blew Caruso. Hey, and I'm gonna be on this Monday. You guys ready to start the show? Are you guys ready to start the show? All right, this next guy, get ready for these credits. He's written for National Lampoon, Cracked Magazine, right? Featured on NPR's Marketplace. Yeah, one person loved that. You guys, put your hands together for the very funny ASTERIOS KOKKINOS.
Pretty cool.
I haven't seen you in a long time since the airport.
Oh my God, you're the girl from the airport. Sorry I never called you back. Ha. I couldn't get her number, are you kidding me? That was an ironic joke, guys. I didn't know there'd be like cute girls here judging me and a hobo without a shotgun. This is a nightmare. The nightmare scenario right now. I'll tell you about myself. I retain too much information. If I look bloated right now, it's because I'm retaining information. It bothers me, though, that there's some kinds of information that we as a society prize over others. Like, you're a real smart guy if you can name all the presidents, but you're a real loser if you can name all the Pokemon. And I know this because by my own standard, I'm a real loser. But if you think about it, there's only been 44 presidents. There are 151 Pokemon. Not counting gold or silver, which I don't. It ends at Mew. It ends at Mew, the rarest of the Pokemon, or what was the point of the movie? So think about it. It's 3 times as hard to learn the Pokemon as it is to learn the president. But you don't get credit for that from my parents. They just say things like, oh, you need to stop borrowing money soon, you're almost 30, and that's illogical. Stop borrowing money from my parents, why don't I eat breakfast for dinner and put shoes on my hands? I'm gonna shampoo with toothpaste, see how silly that sounds? Plus, with Pokemon, you gotta learn their strengths and their weaknesses. You gotta know that the only way to defeat a psychic Pokemon is with a ghost Pokemon. They don't teach you that in school. No matter how many email campaigns I start. Presidents all have the same weakness, bullets. Real smart guy, ooh, so smart. Not sure if you guys can tell, I stopped smoking weed recently. And I'm not happy about it either. Would rather be high all the time. So like now that I stopped smoking weed, all my terrible memories are coming back. I smoked so much weed that I forgot that I started smoking weed to forget. That's how that went down. I remembered over the holidays like this terrible thing that happened to me when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was in high school. I was the fattest kid in my class. So my teachers were like, Asterios, you're gonna be Santa Claus. And I was like, why? Why me? Why? Out of everyone here, why? Why me? No, tell me. What? Why me? Why? And they were like, you're the jolliest. And I was like, granted, that is true. All right, give me that hat. So they sat me down in a big chair in the cafetorium, which is half cafeteria and half crematorium. And they like bring in like all these first graders, like a big line of first graders. And the first one that sits on my lap immediately starts crying. He's like, no. And I'm like, what's wrong, little boy? A great actor even then. And he's like, no, you're not Santa. I was like, of course I am. I'm Santa Claus. And he was like, no, you're not. Santa's eyebrows aren't weird. And I was like, listen, you. It's very naughty to ascribe to an Anglo-centric standard of beauty. You know who doesn't like that? Mixed race Santa Claus. If you keep this up, you're not gonna get that Third Rock from the Sun coffee table book I assume all you kids want this Christmas. Did you know that the part of Dick Solomon almost went to Eric Stoltz? No, you didn't, because you don't have that book. Yes, that parallels what happened to him and the role of Marty McFly in the Back to the Future series. No, that doesn't make him Hollywood's Mr. Second Place. He secured his place in film history with Some Kind of Wonderful. I said all that up here. Down here, and in this region, I felt myself starting to cry. You know who's not allowed to cry on Christmas? Santa Claus. But I choked back the tears, remembered that I was a professional, and by not ruining Christmas, I saved Christmas. Thank you. I'm getting a little bit older, and babies are starting to like interest me now in a way that they never have. It's like I want a backup copy of myself. Do you people ever see a baby so cute you need to remind yourself not to steal it? Exactly. I saw this adorable baby at Denny's the other day, which is where you'll find the cutest ones. Pancake puppies and babies. And I found myself, like, out of nowhere, coming up with, like, a Batman-style plan as to how I was gonna steal this baby. Like, out of nowhere in my head is like, grab salt shaker, throw salt in waitress's eyes, take empty salt shaker, knock out lights, grab baby, run out of Denny's, send baby to college, love baby forever. I have some advice for you people about babies. If you see a baby you want to like pick up or hold or cuddle, you say like, oh, what a cute baby. You mind if I pick up your baby? Like, oh, what an adorable baby. You mind if I pick up your baby? Don't do this. Don't go, hand me the child. Give me the child. Don't call the baby the star baby. Finally, after 10,000 generations of searching, the star baby. Don't say that. Don't mention generations. Don't go, your baby is the only thing between me and a portal back to the goblin dimension. Finally, I can go home to my people. Don't say that. Don't call goblins your people. Don't go, my, your baby's full of blood. Precious blood. It'll ruin Christmas. Hey guys, that's it. I'm ASTERIOS KOKKINOS. Have a good night.
Yeah. Come on. Come on, everybody, one more time.
Dancing with myself. Dancing with myself.
You know, if I just close my eyes, this just sounds like I'm in my apartment alone. Keep it going for Funkomatics, everybody. And ASTERIOS KOKKINOS. How was he, right? Awesome. You guys ready for your next comic? She's just got back from the Bridgetown Comedy Festival. I've seen her on Tosh.0. You guys ready for BRANDIE POSEY?
Thank you. Thank you. Keep it going for Darren, your host, you guys. Woo! All right. Shut up. We're going to have a good time tonight, you guys. We need to agree on the premise of my first joke. The greatest sports trilogy of all time is the Mighty Ducks movies. One person. Everybody else, after the show, I'm meeting you out in La Brea, and we're going to knife fight. Understand that it's coming. And it's fine if you don't carry a knife because I carry a second, because I believe in good sportsmanship, which I learned from the greatest sports trilogy of all time, the Mighty Ducks movies. Does anybody else hate their day job? Anybody else? I got 3 people. Everybody else is perfectly happy in their lives. That's awesome. Good for you. I hate my day job a lot. I work in like just a boring marketing company, but what I think they actually do is produce midlife crises in their employees. That's what's actually happening. I had this woman a couple weeks ago who was just typing out her cubicle and then just pushed herself back into the aisle and just went, somewhere over the rainbow, and then pulled herself back in. She's gonna kill everybody. I can feel it coming. Oh man, a horrible thing happened at my job like a year ago though. 6 of the women that I worked with got pregnant at the same time. And like, yeah, I know, it's awful. And like, I don't hate all pregnant women. There are 2 kinds. There are 2 kinds of pregnant in the woman world. 2 kinds. They're the kind that are like, hey, you know what? I've grown as a person with my partner, like separately and, you know, together as like a couple, and like I'm a better woman than my mom was, and I hope to let my child be a better person than I am. That's totally fine. You have as many kids as you want. God bless. Then there are the other kind of people that like have a baby so they can just trap something into loving them for the rest of their lives. Everybody that I worked with was a category 2 pregnant lady. I think they were like, American Idol's going off the air. I need something to do on Tuesday nights. Oh, man. But the worst part about it was they had a baby shower during office hours, which is bullshit because I have a thing that gets me through the week called Chipotle Thursdays. That barbacoa burrito bowl just gets me over the hump to Friday. And then they had this like baby shower during office hours, and then they had like this buffet of food that nobody wanted to touch, which is double bullshit. So I decided I'm gonna quit that job and start a company where you can hire me, and I will come and be the first person to eat at your public function. Totally fine. I'll show up, I'll get like a plate, I'll fill it with 2 to 3 different kinds of Doritos, don't care. Put Oreos, regular and double stuff on top of that. Make a tiny little ivory tower of diabetes, unhinge my jaw and just shove it inside. And never once mention a diet that I'm going off of for the night. It's absolutely ridiculous. You guys are like an older crowd. Does anybody have roommates in here? Yeah. Does anybody hate their roommates? Yes, I have a roommate. I hate him. I live with a 34-year-old dude that sleeps on a mattress in my living room because life's working out right. He's also a cruise ship improviser, for those that know what that means. He taught himself how to play the ukulele, but he can't get off the fucking floor. That's totally fine. I've realized, though, I don't think that it's necessarily his fault so much that, like, his life has gone to shit, so much as I feel like somehow he's been tricked into becoming Zooey Deschanel's Portrait of Dorian Gray. That's what's going on. I feel like every adorable, whimsical thing that she should have felt some sort of consequence for, like he's getting the brunt of instead. She's like, I learned to play the ukulele. I play with 90s washed up stars, ironically. It's really cool. My roommate's like, sometimes I play the ukulele, and my roommate comes home and finds me sitting on my mattress in the dark, practicing Rainbow Connection. You guys have no idea what sadness is until you've walked into a room and just heard, like, just Rainbow Connection just being fucked up in a corner somewhere that you can't see. Oh, man. I have a big problem with Zooey Deschanel because she's, like, a 31-year-old divorcee that, like, can't admit that there's pain in the world. You know what I mean? Like, when you get divorced, that means that you stood up in a court of law and the person that once loved you just went, ugh! That's what divorce is. I feel like if you asked her, even Zooey Deschanel's 9/11 story would be like whimsical as fuck. You know what I mean? If you asked her what that day was like, she was like, oh, I woke up that morning to the sound of birds chirping. Cartoon birds, not real birds. Cartoon birds chirping, you guys. And then I like stretched because I was like wearing footy pajamas. Ooh! And I was like camping indoors because I live in a city. It's scary, you guys. I was camping indoors. And I turned on our fire. We had like a little fire of like construction paper and like a flashlight. It was really fun. I turned it on. And then we turned on like our old-timey radio because old-timey things make you interesting. Did you guys know that? Old-timey things make you real interesting. And then the second tower fell. And then I wrote a song about using a washboard and spoons. Oh man, you guys have been absolutely awesome. I went to go see a masseuse the other day because I get stressed out a lot, and I asked her for a happy ending, and she was like, "Sorry, we all die alone, and then our corpses shit themselves." It's science and life, you guys. Thank you. I'm Brandie POSEY.
I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Gotta run me tonight. You wanna be with me? I'm a genie in a bottle, baby.
Yeah, Brandie POSEY, everybody.
Come on and dance.
Funkomatics. You guys have a good time so far tonight? Are you guys ready for your headliner? Are you guys ready for your headliner? That's what I thought. You've seen this guy in Comedy Death Ring. You've also seen him on Conan O'Brien. You're about to see him right now. Everybody put your hands together for your headliner, Steve Benaquist.
I like a blister in the sun. Let me go out. Big hands, I know you're the one. Woo!
Thank you, Funkomatics. How about a hand for them, everybody? That's enough. That's enough.
I'm Steve Benaquist, here to entertain you. I'm in many ways an average man with amazing hair, and get used to it. That's, for those of you who don't know, that's one of my catchphrases. I like catchphrases that can be really said at any time without fear of being wrong. Got a flat tire? Get used to it. Baby smiled at you? Get used to it. Ain't that America? Give yourselves a round of applause. All of those were catchphrases. Thank you, thank you. Funny thing happened to me outside the theater. A guy passing by says, hey, nice scarf. And I didn't like the way he said that, so I said, hey, I don't like the way you said that. And he said, yeah? Why I don't like your scarf? It's gay. And I said, well, the joke's on you, buddy, because it's not a scarf, it's a pashmina. And that's really the only reason I wore that out here. You get used to it. Ain't that America? Everybody having some drinks tonight? Yes? That's very good. Drink up, but don't drink and drive. That is a bad thing. However, I saw a Stoli billboard the other day that said, don't drink and drive. All playfully painted, N apostrophe. By all means, drink and drive. You put n between two things and they just go together. Surf and turf? Come on. You could just have surf, or you could have some turf. Have some surf and turf. Amos and Andy? Were two fake black men ever made for each other more than by that n? Brangelina and... Damn it! They outsmarted me again. I don't do a lot of drinking. I do a little drinking, no drugs. Once in a while, a little X-Lax and nitrous oxide, but just for shits and giggles. Shits, giggles, ladies and gentlemen. Get used to it. Little dating advice. People have said to me, Steve, you've dated, you've loved, and lost, and loved again. What advice do you have? And I have this advice, not to generalize. The women I've dated have been by and large, mostly. Let's see. Calling it gonzo-ria doesn't make it any more fun. If you can date a dancer, do. They're so sexy, and this goes for both genders, everybody. Date a dancer if you can, and they're fit. If you can date a celebrity, well, a little narcissism really roils things up in the sack as well. And not to drop names, but you've not lived until you've crunk slow danced with Gabourey Sibiday. Let's see, it takes two to have non-consensual sex. Technically true. And when breaking up, it's always hard, but it's a little easier, I find, if you tell the person you're dumping to give themselves a round of applause. Well, they're out the door. They feel a little better about themselves. If my outlook on emotion seems a little weird, I am a wasp, half a wasp, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Anybody? All right. You're probably not, sir, because you're applauding and that's showing emotion. What wasps do is we send each other clippings from magazines and newspapers about what we would talk about if we were comfortable talking to each other. So my mother, the wasp of my parents, for the last couple of years, the subject has been how not to be a total failure if you haven't achieved all your hopes and dreams by age 30. So she sent me an article about the great Rodney Dangerfield, who made his first TV appearance at age 43. Thought you might like to know, Stephen. Side note, in your face, my dead hero. I beat you. Then she sent me one about a woman in Poughkeepsie, New York, who fell into a coma at age 24, came out of it at 32, went on to crochet the biggest quilt in Dutchess County, New York history. Thought you might like to know, Stephen. And she sent me one about a little fat boy in Virginia who was trapped under part of a collapsed barn for 12 days. And they couldn't get him food or water. They got him out safely. He had lost 25 pounds from starvation, kept the weight off. Thought you might like to know this, Steve. Love you, Mom. And if you're wondering why comedians are up here, love you, Mom, probably has something to do with it. But I do love my mom. Yeah, wasps. I am, on the other side, Italian, and Benaquist is shortened. And my brother looks much more Italian. I don't look Italian, but he's in entertainment as well. And this is how Italian he looks. On his headshot on the back, it says eyes brown, hair brown, weight brown, height brown. That's pretty Italian. I come from New England. I'm not a native to Los Angeles. I do love it here, though. It's an amazing city. I love going to enjoy what all the things that the city has to offer. I went to the Staples Center last month on a bad day. I saw the Clippers versus Foreigner. Foreigner won, everybody. Damn it. Well, another thing I've learned, New Hampshire doesn't have many of these. Homeless people. We got homeless people here, have you noticed? And they're loud. And I figured out why. It's because they lack an inside voice. Just as they lack a voice in society, so, which is as it should be. I live, well, I'm a Republican, so, joke, please buy my record. I live in one of the hippest possible neighborhoods west of the Mississippi, Sunset Junction, a place that's not quite a neighborhood. It's between other neighborhoods for those who aren't from around here. It's if you were to consider a historical map as of Europe, the Celts would be Hispanic working class families just living there. And then the Huns sweeping in would be the gays in the 80s. And then you had the hipsters coming in like the Goths. I think I flipped that. And now we're just a big old melting pot. We got everybody. We have a Ukrainian cultural center. I've never even gone in, but I've learned about the Ukrainians. They're a humble people, ladies and gentlemen. How do I know this? The word cultural is in quotation marks on the sign. Buck up, you Ukrainian Americans now. You count. My neighborhood, the Hispanic element, and I think this is also just the weather here. In New England, our cars just are destroyed by the weather. We don't ever bother cleaning them. They're pieces of junk by the time you've made your third payment. But here, they keep them in perfect shape. And there's a kid who lives next door to me, Raul. He's 19. He has a '68 Mustang. And it is in pristine shape. It has, it's constantly cleaned and polished. New paint job every once in a while. And he went so far as to have the words Mas Turbo painted on the sides. Which is Spanish for more turbo. But there's no space between the words. Like some children's party magician that you would never ever hire. Masturbo. What tricks does he know? Of course, I've never seen him driving with both hands on the wheel, so might not be accidental. Another feature of my neighborhood is an amazing place called the Circus of Books. Yeah, don't spoil it, sir. And by the way, duck your head in shame. It sounds like a magical place where literature comes to life, right? The ringmaster, Noel Coward, holding up a flaming hoop, a naked Truman Capote jumping through it. And you wouldn't be far wrong if that's your idea of it, because it is a gay porn bookstore. Yeah, it's special. It attracts an elite class of homeless hustler. Yeah, that's great. I was coming home one night, because I live on the commercial block there, and I'm crossing the alley. There's a gentleman peeing on the residential side, not on the businesses. It's thoughtful. I step over the stream of urine still coming out of him, and let me tell you, this is why I have hope for America. I think that we're going to come out of this recession because we have an entrepreneurial spirit. This guy turns to me in midstream, staggering a little, opens his courier bag and says, "Hey, buddy, Want to buy some porno? I was 10 feet away from where I could buy it unroad tested. Pages free and easy to open. And anyway, I didn't give my business, but someone will. Times are tough. Yeah, it's special. It's special. I'm a writer as well as a performer. I've written a few things here and there. I'm fond of slogans. I'm good at the catchphrases. Get used to it. Ain't that America? And one place that has a love of slogans, I think more than any other, is Texas. These colors don't run, Texas. Don't mess with Texas. I mean, they love them. So, believe it or not, I've actually sold all of these. And I'd like to list a few of them for you. Texas. Shh, I'm reading. Texas, the second biggest state in the Union. Texas, one of the better states. Texas, moderation in all things. Texas, but enough about me. I'd like to hear about you. Texas, this fudge won't budge. Texas, where the Second Amendment tells the First Amendment to shove it up its ass. Texas, where amendments have asses. Texas, we had slaves for an extra 6 months because we didn't tell them they were free. Texas, a thinking man's hell. Yeah. So that's slogans. I have some show pitches. I got a reality show called America's Fattest Astronaut. The heaviest weight becomes weightless. I have another one that is a little biopic for one of my acting heroes, Clint Eastwood. He's won the Oscar for directing, but never acting. So it's a biopic, the life story of Ernest Hemingway. It's called Hemming Which Way But Loose. You didn't know he hung out with an orangutan, did you? It's true. I took some license, but it's true. His third wife. Also, I got a great show, family, kind of an ABC kind of thing. It's a group of teenagers who are all evangelicals and also quadruple amputees. And they have a rock band and they go around evangelizing, and it's called Bible Stubbies. And I think you're gonna like it. Yeah. Funkomatics are back. I like laughing. I like learning. I like laughing and learning. I think you know that. That's why this bit is called Chuckle and Apprehend. Fact. By the year 2037, white people will no longer be a majority race in this country. It will just be another large minority. Fact. The largest minority will still be Samoans, statistically speaking. Fact. 1,200 students enter LA County high schools each year. Fact, only 700 graduate. It's time we find out whoever or whatever is killing these 500 kids per school and put a stop to it. Fact, a dog's body temperature on average 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Fact, they still look ridiculous in those sweaters you put them in. Reflects badly on the owner, not the dog. Fact, Louis XIV of France kept his dwarves at his courts to use their little heads as napkins for his mutton-greased fingers. Fact, that's pretty cool. Fact, 1863, 3 nations get rid of slavery: Siam, Russia, and the United States. Fact, we're the only ones upset enough to have a war about it. Fact, the South will rise again. Fact, the South is another name for my penis. Fact. It's a pretty thin bit, just me shouting a bunch of unrelated facts with the word fact in between each one, an ever more grating and obnoxious voice. Fact. Or is it? Fact. Yes, it is. Fact. Hay 10 ovejas por cada persona en Uruguay. Fact. That is Spanish for there are 10 sheep for every person in Uruguay. Fact. That is a fact. Sidebar fact. 7th best Spanish speaker, state of Massachusetts, 1990. of people that took the test. Thank you. Yeah, so that's some facts, ladies and gentlemen. I like to throw down the knowledge. Welcome back to J's After Midnight here on WZZZ. That was George Benson playing Who, What? I'm your host, Peebo Whatley, and we're on the downhill side of 2 a.m. I'd like to remind you that we're in the middle of a fundraiser for a charity called Hope for Dollars, which is dedicated to the creation of other charities to whom your information will be given upon your generous donation. Now, Jazz After Midnight has partnered with Hope for Dollars, and we have several gifts in return for your various levels of giving. For just $5 a month, you can get a mug with the Jazz After Midnight logo on it. For just $10 a month, you can get a tote bag with an image of the mug with the Jazz After Midnight logo on it. For $15 a month, you can get that same tote bag with a t-shirt, blank, but neatly folded and tucked inside. But for my money, the best gift we have for just $300 is a pair of tickets to an evening of wine, moonlight, and jazz. That's coming up on April 5th, the Valentine's Day of spring. It's on board the Queen Mary on the Starlight deck, and the wine will be provided by Benaquist of Belize, offering the finest wines grown in that swampy Caribbean nation. The moonlight will be provided by God up above, or for you secular listeners, by the man in the moon. The jazz will be provided by the finest non-union local musicians, with a special appearance by the all-tween a cappella group No Backsies in St. Mary's Middle School. Now, I'd like to take you into some music, but my engineer Lyle tells me that all 28 lines are dead. So that number to call once again is 1-800-JAYZ, that's J-A-Y-U-Z-Z-H. While I wait for some of your calls, I'll tell you a little bit more about wine, moonlight, and jazz. If you have store-bought notions of romance like old Peebo does, then wine, moonlight, and jazz is just for you. Let me tell you, if you're Peebo's girl, come Valentine's Day, you will get a single red rose and a Whitman's chocolate sampler. And the evening will end with some sex that's a little rougher than you might expect. Or be okay with. Now, we do have one call on the line, and I'd like to take you back to some music. Oh, no? Lyle tells me the CD player is stuck. Somehow peanut butter got inside it. So let me tell you just a little more about wine, moonlight, and jazz. This is not Daylight, Bud Light, and rap rock. This is wine, moonlight, and jazz. This is not moonshine, overcast, and bluegrass. This is wine, moonlight, jazz. This is not absinthe, the creepy glow of a cave fish, and theremin music. No! This is wine, moonlight, and jazz. What's that, Lyle? Oh, Lyle says that the CD player is working. So I'd like to take you back with some music. Coming up is Dizzy Gillespie's Salt Peanuts. The number again to call, even during this fine, fine music, is 1-800-JAYUEEUHZZZH. Fact. I'm Steve Benaquist. In fact, that's my time. Thank you very much.
Whoa, you
And for
like to
everyone, the
think
band.
that you're immune to the stuff. Oh yeah. Oh, the closer to the truth you say you can't get enough. You know you're gonna have to face it. You're addicted to love.
One more time, Steve Benaquist, everybody. Did you guys have a good time tonight? But we're here every other Friday. Please tell your friends. Thank you for coming out and supporting live comedy and coming out to Hollywood Stands Up. Get home safe. Good night. Thank you, everybody.
My sway said you're addicted to love. Might as well face it, you're addicted to love. Might as well face it, you're addicted to love. Might as well face it, you're addicted to love. You see the signs, but you can't read. You're running at a different speed. Your heart beats in double time. Another kiss and you'll be mine. Whoa, you like to think that you're immune to this love. Oh yeah. Oh, the closer to the truth you say you